Okay, so this video was for the volume profiles that was promised a long time ago for reaching 10,000 subscribers. I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible and as convenient as possible to understand from base perspective without getting into the technicals much, because at the end of the day, what we are most concerned about is making money instead of knowing too much about something that is useless to us. It is good to know the details, but there's a fine line between knowing too much to the point that you start to confuse things and knowing too less where you do not know what you are actually even doing with the thing that you're using, such as this volume profile tool. So for first of all, you go into this projection area where you have your long and short tools, and this is the volume profile. You can say this is an indicator. Just for reference, we click this one and we use this one. So before I do that, I'll just give you two references that where volume profiles are used. Basically, we have two types of markets. One, we are taking uptrend, okay? One is the uptrending market, and second is the downtrending market, and the third is the ranging market. These two are the same. The difference only is that one is the uptrend and the second is the downtrend. So we are going to keep it on the uptrend to ease out, and we are going to just draw a range over here. So volume profiles can be taken in these two scenarios. So with BTC, we see here that we can draw a volume profile in this area and we can draw a volume profile in this area, because here we have a range and here we have a trend. So both these cases can be considered to be taken volume profiles inside. So what happens, the easiest way, you take your volume profile, you place it at the start of the trend and you drag it all the way towards the high of the trend, okay, like this. And for the range, simple start of the range towards the end of the range, okay. Now, what happens is that a volume profile is a session where 70% of the most volume is traded between its value area high structure and its value area low structure. So we are going to get into those details, but what I want to mean by saying is that you can take a volume profile in this trend, you can take another volume profile in this trend, you can take another volume profile in this trend, and you can take a summarized volume profile for all these ranges inside the trend, okay. So it isn't necessary that there should only be one volume profile for a trend or one volume profile for a range. It all depends on where you're pulling your start and where you're ending your volume profile at, and we're going to explain those further with the examples, okay. So just remember that you have the trend and you have the range. These two are the most common structures occurring in the market, and this is where you take your volume profiles, okay. Now I'll get into BTC here. Let's say this is our start of the trend and this is our end of the trend. I'll mark this with circles. This is our start, this is our end. Why this is the start? Because this is what starts the uptrend from here all the way up, and price never reaches this point, and this is the end we are taking, because once this price reached the end over here, it took a lot of days for price to revisit this high. So we are taking this as the whole trend. Now I take my volume profile tool and start the trend from the beginning towards the end. Now you see I have a blue line, I have a red line, I have a yellow line. If I go into the settings, I just enable the value area high, value area low, and the POC. The value area high is the highest point of the volume profile. So this, starting from this towards this area inside this whole trend, this is where most of the volume, which is above 70%, was traded. So inside that structure, we can say that the volume profile is a range on its own, with its high, with its low, and with its NPOC. Okay, the value area highs and the value area lows marked in blue and yellow are something that I do not personally use. Okay, the only thing that I use is the POC. POC stands for point of control, and NPOC stands for naked point of control. What that means is between the 70% region of a value area high and a value area low structure, the red line, which I have marked for myself, called the POC or the NPOC, is where the highest possible volume transaction or transactions took place. And in case this is the NPOC, which means naked point of control, that means this area has not been retested before. But if we remove the N, we just call it a point of control, this means that area has been retested. Okay, so we were just discussing that inside a trend you can have multiple volume profiles. So we just drew this summarized version for this entire trend, and what we can do is we can take a trend from here to here. We can draw one volume profile, we can drag a trend from here to here, we can draw another volume profile, we can take a trend from here to here, another volume profile, another volume profile, and another volume profile. So all of these red lines, these are POCs. This was, let's take the example of this one inside this order block. This was an NPOC all the way here for, let's say, 127 days. After 127 days, price broke down inside this order block and it tested this NPOC. Now this NPOC is no longer the NPOC because it's no longer naked. It's become a POC, a point of control, because it has been retested. This is the simple term explanation between the difference for an NPOC and a POC. Okay, so this retested, gave a bounce and continued higher up. And let's just put our biggest one. Okay, now this was the simple explanation for volume profiles inside trends. Okay, the same goes for ranges. If I take the volume profile, I take it from the start of the trend, start of the range towards the end of the range where the range broke out, we have a volume profile present over here. Now if you understood what I said before, you would immediately jump to the conclusion that this is a naked POC. Why? Because this has not been retested before. It is pending a retest in the future. Is it guaranteed to come? No. But we just place it in case the market nukes and you're unable to find, because this is a large order block. And what the purpose of taking the volume profile is that you place it inside the order block, you spot the sniper entry and you place your limit order over there. That is how I get high RR trades, and that is how you can snipe limit orders as well while trading inside larger time order blocks. Okay, same case for the trends. Inside the ranges, I can draw a volume profile from here to here for this range, from here to here for this range, from here to here for this range, or a summarized version for the range altogether. Okay, it just depends on what time frame you're trading at. I'm currently on the daily. Okay, let's draw this one. Okay, so what happened in the past for this example was there was a large chunk of order block over here and price were ranging for about 130 to 140 days, and finally you got a nuke inside the order block and inside the NPOC as well. Now how could you have used this to an advantage? First of all, NPOCs, rule number one, they can be used for entries almost all of the time. Second, they can be used as invalidations as well. That is because sometimes you are going to get NPOCs that are not going to match with your order block. They'll be slightly below or slightly above in terms of shorting, but you can use that to your advantage by using them as invalidations. Okay, now let's say in the future price revisits this area like this. Okay, you're wondering where you should place your stop loss. You have this volume profile marked on your chart. You see it has retested already and almost retested for the second time as well. Now this volume profile of yours is a POC, a point of control for the entire market structure for BTC over here. So if you take a retest long, let's say here, or a retest long, let's say over here, your POC is your invalidation. From a general perspective, you could place your stop loss below this wick. But if you want to go for a more precise stop loss, avoiding a rate of this wick, avoiding your slippage fees, all of that stuff, you would place your stop slightly below this POC, because the POC, the point of control, is the entire structure for the market from here onwards. Let's see if we can find more examples. Okay, let's consider the trend to start from here all the way towards the top. This is just vertically up and we are looking for re-entries for BTC. Okay, now you see, let's just go H4, take it all the way to the bottom, all the way up, because the highest pivot has not yet confirmed. Okay, now what I was saying is that you will have large areas of order blocks in trending markets where you're unable to identify where your entry should go. So let's say this entire thing here is an order block. You use your more technical analysis tools, you draw your Fibonacci's, your golden pocket lies over here, your 0.618 is here, your 0.706, the golden pocket is there, but you're still unsure where the sniper entry. This thing helps you. In this case, you would just place your limit order over here And some of you may be wondering why I did not draw a POC from this level. We obviously can. Okay, now, okay, this is a perfect examples of using invalidations. So you have one trend from here to here with the golden pocket, with the order block, that is your sniper entry target. Okay, then you have another one with the 0.79 invalidation Fibonacci tool with the low starting from here and the same and over here. In this case, what you can use is, without any further technical analysis, you place your limit order over here, you place your, this is your last area of, this is your last point of control. Okay, why is this a point of control, not an NPOC? This is an NPOC because from here to here price has bounced in these areas, it has not retested this one. So this is an NPOC, a naked point of control. This is a point of control. Why? Because from this trend to here, it has a perfect retest over here. Okay, so a point of control has been formed for the market structure, and if it goes below this level, the entire market structure would change. So you would just place your stop loss with some more technical analysis tools. Here, your entry here, target new all-time highs, and there you go. You have a simple setup for BTC long without any further deep diving into technical analysis or identifying market structures for taking a retest long. This is as simple as that, using one as the entry inside the trend and the other as the potential invalidation. I have one more example lined up from the VIP short position for CETAs. All right, this is the short position we have identified a potential opportunity for CETAs. Now, this is your range. Obviously, you know, if you're watching this video, you already know what a range is. If you don't, there's a long video on the channel already explaining ranges and order blocks supply. You have a deviation, you have acceptance below. Now from here to here, you have a downtrend, and inside this downtrend, you have a supply here, you have a supply here. Now these are cases where you are unsure, where should I place my short limit, because you are trying to go as precise as possible for sniper entries, aiming for high RR setups. Okay, so you take, my trend was from here to here at that time because the market had not moved this much, but I can draw another volume profile. Okay, you see, when I drew this volume profile from here to here, the market was actually trading in this area only. This price action was unknown, but now we have this price action from this high towards this low. We just drew the volume profile and we came to an NPOC in this region, and you can see when the market bounced, it rejected into this area. This was an entire supply. You were unsure, would you place your limit short here, would you place your limit short here, would you place your limit short over here? In all of these cases, what you did was you just use the volume profile, you got a retest here, and price is, let's say, down 3% from this rejection. This volume profile is still valid because if the market bounces, it's going to go like this and this. So you can have multiple volume profiles inside ranges, but it depends on what time frame you are, whether you are swing shorting. Let's say in this case, I'm swing shorting on CETAs. But if you were, let's say, scalp shorting on CETAs inside this time frame, you would have easily got a short on this NPOC over here. And this is most likely going to continue down further inside this sell side liquidity to hit the target. Okay, I guess that's it. Volume profiles are very simple. A lot of people confuse this with the value area high and value area low structures. They can be used. I'm not saying they are bad or they are inconvenient, but I personally, for the past 3 years, have only and only used the NPOC, because inside the 70% range for the value area high and value area low, your POC or your NPOC, which I have marked with the red line, is the highest point of volume traded area, and that is where you decide for changes in market structure, like I did with the examples. Now to the end of the video, we have one more thing to add, which is this PVP indicator. I think this is only available on the paid trading view subscription. So for those of you that are just getting into the start of it, and you would obviously have trouble with manually drawing volume profiles like I did so easily, that is just because I have lots of experience doing this thing. But for you guys, Also, I have the volume profile up because sometimes I'm lazy. I just turn this on and I get my volume profiles. Okay, so before we get into the settings, I'll turn this on. Okay, okay, your PVP will draw this like that. Okay, but this depends on the settings. I've been using these settings I copied from someone 3 years ago. It has been the exact same since then. I do not know how these numbers, what they mean, but the only thing that you should be concerned about is this one, because this is the time frame that it draws the volume profile on. So currently it's set at the monthly for me. If I take it to the weekly, it will be a little bit different, because on the weekly it gives me another POC over here, and if I go on the daily, it will give me furthermore probably like that. So the lower time frame you go, the more volume profiles you get. So as you just saw that you had drawn my manual volume profile from here to here for my short position on CETUS, exactly on the indicator it's there as well. Okay, so it depends what time frame you're trading. You have to adjust this setting. Usually this is set at the weekly for me, because the higher the time frame, the bigger the coins, sorry, the bigger the rejection or support on the volume profile would be. But if you're a beginner, between the daily and the weekly is good for you. Monthly is too much, and between the hourly to the minute, that is really low. That would require high consistency of low time frame scalping. Just stick between the daily and the weekly. Daily is the best one, because in this you can get the most amount of volume profiles, and these would also match with the ones you manually draw. Okay, the settings are 1 up down 68, number 1000, all disabled, POC, developing, nope, you do not need the developing one. What this one means is that the market structure for the session you identify manually is the one that you have session that has already completed. Sorry for the bad English, but what that means is, if I took my volume profile from here to here, this is a trend that has completed. Why? Because there's a high, there's a low, and then there's a bounce continuing to form a further future change in market structure. That is a session that is confirmed. But what happens in the developing POC is that a session like this one that is currently forming is going to change this POC until the change in market structure has confirmed. So let's say it started from here and currently the POC is right over here, but this session can go up to, like, say, let's say this area over here, and until that the value of this POC on the indicator will change. Okay, so just have that disabled. You do not need a developing POC. Developing POC is I would say someone to use if they are on the 1 to 3 minute time frame looking for further scalps on lower time frame volatility. Okay, just have the POC enabled. That would be enough for you. The width is 30. You can adjust the settings, but let these one remain the same. These have been the same for me for the past 3 years, and the results are obviously on Twitter for the consistency in trades. Okay, so one more tip for you guys. What you should do is remember that I drew my own volume profile manually like that. It came, okay, sorry, it was this one. It came over here. All right, so when you're practicing drawing volume profiles, draw your volume profiles first, turn on the indicator if you have the paid version, and then see if the indicator matches with your own volume profiles. That would be like a self-teaching mechanism for you to check whether you are doing things right or wrong. Okay, that was that. Volume profiles are very simple, very much avoided by most traders, but it has a really high consistency win rate when it comes to using as invalidations or as sniper entries inside larger time order blocks, which are much tougher to trade when you're looking for accumulations or investments. Okay, the next video that we have pending is the thread that I posted on Twitter, the external liquidity and internal liquidity. That will be posted sometime into the future as well. But this 10,000 subscribers special volume profile video was promised for a long time. We successfully hit 10K. And yeah, thank you very much. And I'll try to make more content as much as I can for YouTube, but most of it already has been uploaded on the channel. Make sure to check out those videos. Those are old, but the older the video, the more content it has, because that is from someone of my own time. That was like a year ago, not as much on the net worth scale that I am right now. So things are more detailed in the past videos than they are now. Okay, but I try to make this one as detailed as possible while keeping it as simple as possible for understanding perspective. Okay, I'll see you guys next week, probably on the Sunday stream. The stream was cancelled today because I had to record this video as well. Okay, the bio channel link will be in the description. use that, and Discord link will also be in the description. See ya.